and I won't wait other people to join. Let's start.
Uh-huh.
They may
Okay.
use. Yeah, hope you can see this, right?
Yeah, no, hold on. Yes, I can. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let me just start. So you know that Palo Alto offers some certifications, right? And you know what is a Palo Alto? Palo Alto is basically vendor. They have the product in us network security. Okay. They have a solution for cloud as well, and they have solution for the on-premises network. So if you want to secure on-premises network, you can use their firewall, and they are providing next generation firewall. And next generation means what? I mean, this is supporting all the next generation firewall feature, for example, application ID and sandboxing, etc., including your firewall filtering and IPS, antivirus, URL, etc. So yeah, they offer some certification as well, like PCCSA, that is a one of the certification, then PCNSA and PCNSE. So as a network engineer, you should pursue for PCNSA or PCNSE certification. Okay. And these are the good certification. These are the certification which is showing that you have good command on the Palo Alto firewall. Basically managing the Palo Alto firewall and also troubleshooting to it. Now, why people are using Palo Alto? Because Palo Alto is a market leader, and they are providing the solution for the data center and for the branch offices as well. So they have the firewall which is supported in the data center. For example, 5060 series, that is the data center firewall, and 850, that is the branch office firewall, or Palo Alto 220, that is again you can use for the small businesses. They the Palo Alto firewall can be managed individually. You can manage the firewall individually, or you can manage through Panorama, which is central management device. This firewall having SP3 architecture, which is known as a single pass parallel processing, and this architecture making this firewall very fast. This is very fast in terms of processing the packet. In Palo Alto firewall, we have a dedicated CPU for the management plane and data plane. So the using management plane, you are managing the policy, okay, and you can see the logs, report, etc. But using data plane, firewall is filtering the traffic. So they have a dedicated CPU for both plane and memory as well. This feature is making firewall robust firewall, because if there is any issue on the data plane, using management plane, you can control the traffic. Or if there is issue on the management plane, your data plane would not be effective, right? So that that is the reason the Palo Alto has segregated their CPU for the management plane and data plane. This firewall can be used for the on-premises, and you can use on the cloud as well. So as you know that most of the organization nowadays moving on the cloud-based infrastructure, right? So if you want to protect cloud-based infrastructure, you can use Palo Alto firewall there as well. And for on-premises, obviously this firewall is really great in terms of controlling the traffic. And also this firewall is providing central log collection. Central log collection means all the log you can send to the Panorama, and through Panorama, you can integrate any SIEM solution. For example, in Splunk, QRadar, like this kind of tool where you can send the centralized log. And this is the architecture of your firewall. You can see that a firewall would be supporting different module. So on firewall can do the traffic filtering based on the source IP, destination IP, source port number, destination port number. It is also providing app control feature, which is application ID. So using application ID, you can identify that traffic is generated by which application, and based on that, you can apply granular control. So you can take example of Zoom, Webex, Facebook, YouTube, etc. So it is able to identify that traffic is generated by the Zoom application or to the Zoom application. And on the Zoom itself, we have a multiple functionality. For example, Zoom is allowing you to do chatting, do voice calling, do video calling, do sharing file etc. So you can control these things using firewall, I mean Palo Alto application ID feature. There you can enable some of the feature or you can disable some of the features. So for example, let's say organization requirement is like that. People should be able to do voice or video call, but they should not be able to share any file or to do any chatting using Zoom. Okay. So on the firewall level, you can control this. Also, firewall is providing intrusion prevention system. Okay, so using this, the vulnerability can be controlled. I mean, if there is any vulnerability over the network and someone is trying to exploit those vulnerability, so intrusion prevention system would be able to block that kind of traffic. Same way, if there is any virus or malware being spread over the network, so Palo Alto has the capability, it can detect and it can block those malicious traffic. URL filtering, using URL filtering, you can filter the traffic based on the URL. So there are some URL category that organization want to block or want to allow, so that you can control through URL filtering. And there is a sandboxing feature, um, which is wildfire, right? So if there is any 0-day attack and firewall do not have a signature for those kind of file, so it is able to send that file to the wildfire, to that sandbox, and through the sandbox it would be able to notice the behavior of the file, whether the file is malicious or not, or based on the behavior, firewall can allow or deny the traffic. And finally, you can enable SSL inspection. So if you have encrypted type of traffic, and for that you just want to have the inspection, so you can enable the SSL inspection. I would take simple example of SSL inspection. For example, we have, let's say we just want to connect any HTTPS kind of traffic website. Okay. And you know that if you are accessing any HTTPS website, for that website it is making end-to-end tunnel. That means from server to client, there would be SSL tunnel would be created. And inside the SSL tunnel, there would be encrypted data. So if you want to detect anything on the packet level and the traffic is encrypted, then you have to enable SSL inspection. So these are the some good feature of the Palo Alto firewall, and that's why it is used in the market. You can take example, this is the traditional firewall architecture. A traditional firewall architecture, let's say on the firewall, we have a different modules. So if firewall is receiving any packet from this source and trying to send the traffic to this destination, and let's say this is entire firewall. So, your packet is going to pass for same thing again and again. So for example, let's say packet reached the firewall, and here firewall policy lookup has to be happen. So what the firewall is doing, traditional firewall, it is resolving layer 2 and layer 3 networking part, HA, config management, etc. And after that, this is sending the traffic for port or protocol base, and then through the firewall policy, the packet would go again to next module. And here the same thing is going to check again, and then the particular module functionality, URL filtering. And then it would reach to another module, which is IPS policy. And on the IPS policy, same thing is being checked again and again. So this same thing which is being checked again and again, okay, this is making firewall really slow, because this is a multi-pass architecture. You can say this is called multi-pass. Same thing is being passed at a multiple module. So that means this is multi-pass architecture. In Palo Alto, we have a different architecture, and that architecture is called single pass parallel processing. In that case, what happens, whenever any packet come to the firewall, in a single go, firewall is going to look application ID, user ID, content ID, networking, policy engine. In the policy engine, it is going to check everything in a single go. That is called single pass. Okay, and to support this checking in a single go, we have a parallel processing hardware. So for data plane, we have networking, we have security, we have content related hardware. These are the parallel processing hardware. So this single pass and parallel processing hardware makes the single pass parallel processing architecture, which is called SP3 architecture. So Palo Alto support SP3 architecture, where it is, is doing the inspection on the packet, different type of inspection on the packet in a single go. For example, application ID lookup would happen in a single go, user ID and content ID lookup would happen with the networking, would happen in a single go. So you can say single pass architecture, single pass software perform operation once per packet For example, networking function, policy lookup, application identification and decoding, and signature matching. This would happen in a single go. And to support this, we have parallel processing hardware. And all these hardware can control through the control plane, which is also called management plane. So using management plane, these hardware can be controlled. And this architecture making the firewall really very fast. Please let me know if you have any question. Okay, you can just shout if there is any question. So that's the Palo Alto, but I'm just going to show you lab. Okay, and I would talk about the VPN a little bit. So for example, in Palo Alto, if you want to configure VPN, I can show you the VPN part as well. So you know what is a VPN and what is the advantage of VPN, right?
Yes, Samar. Yeah, I know about that. Yeah.
Okay, great. So let me just give you overview of the VPN. VPN stands for virtual private network, using which you can create a tunnel and you can extend your LAN to different location using the public network. Okay, that's why we are using a VPN to send the secure traffic over the public network to the our private network. So if we have two different private network, let's say I have a network at a regional office, okay, and we have a remote user, and they just want to connect to the headquarter, okay, so that they can access the headquarter resources. So they can't connect direct cable to that. They have the internet connection, and using the internet connection they can share the data. But the problem is in the internet connection. Internet connection is a public network. So on the public network, if you want to send data securely, so you have option for VPN, okay, so that you can connect to your LAN. So virtual private network creates tunnel that allow user or system to connect securely over a public network, and they would feel like that as they are connected to the local network. So you know that once you connect to the VPN, you can access your local network resources, and you can access it securely. So VPN offers some services. For example, it offers data security. For data security, it is doing encryption. So whatever the data is going through the VPN, all the data would be encrypted, and that would be secure. We have another type of security that would be provided by the VPN, which is data integrity. Data integrity, it offers hashing. Okay, so it ensures that whenever the data is traveling from one point to another point, that data would be travel without interrupted, and nobody in the between would able to modify that data. So we use a hashing mechanism in the VPN for data integrity. And then the VPN offers also authentication. So if you want to turn off your video, you can turn off. So if you're there, you may turn off so video.
Okay, so I think I turned off my video.
No, I'm talking about Sohab. Sohab Intijar. Your video is
Yes,
on,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, you can turn off video. Not an issue, sir. All right, I would be continuing. So a VPN also offers authentication. That means whenever two body want to share the data, they should be authenticated first before sharing the data. So authentication would happen based on the pre-shared key, or we have other option. We can use a certificate as well. So based on the certificate, authentication can be happen. And then it is offering tunneling. Tunneling is virtual tunneling. Right? That means whenever you are making a VPN connection between two body, so this is creating a virtual tunnel, and through that virtual tunnel, all the data would be passed through. And then finally, anti-replay. Anti-replay means what? This is another feature of the VPN. If let's say there is an attacker who able to get the data from the VPN tunnel, from this virtual tunnel. After getting the data, it tried to modify source and destination address and try to, manipulate the, response or reply. So that's not possible because VPN do not provide, VPN provides protection against replay. So this user, the attacker, cannot replay that messages. Okay, the reason is why, because in the VPN, whenever the data is traveling, the VPN would be able to hide underlay address. Okay, underlay address means on the VPN we have two IP addresses. One IP addresses would be VPN header, which is overlay address. That means the source public IP and destination public IP, and then there would be underlay address. That means the traffic, the private IP. So this is going to hide the private IP, and due to this, anti-replay is not possible. If you are using a VPN, you are getting some benefit. You are going to get less cost. The reason is using broadband connection or using mobile connection, still you can connect through VPN. You don't need to purchase dedicated line. This is flexible. When I say flexible, whenever you want to use, you can use. If you don't want to use, you can just disconnect. It is scalable. Scalable means if you have a two location, you want to connect through the VPN, you can connect two location. If the location is increasing, your offices is increasing, you can add more location into the VPN. Similarly, if you have a user, let's say 5 user right now who just want to have the VPN connection, so you can use them. You can provide the access to VPN access to them. And if there are more user increasing, you can increase the VPN licenses, and they would be able to use the VPN services. So it's scalable and it's availability. It's available 24/7. Anytime you can connect to the VPN and your communication would start to the private network. Okay, so in the Palo Alto, we have two types of VPN Palo Alto is supporting. One is a side-to-side VPN and other is a remote VPN, which is in Palo Alto, which is called Global Protect. So what to side-to-side VPN? Side-to-side VPN, if you have Palo Alto 1 and you have Palo Alto 2, these two firewall you have. So in between, you can connect a VPN services. So that means what? Both devices in a two different location can connect through the VPN. And if you have a network over here, let's say this network is 192.168.2.0/24, any network on this one want to communicate another network, which is 172.16.0.0/24, they can connect. These two private network can connect to each other post firewall establishing the VPN. Right? So that's a side-to-side VPN. So if you have fixed location, between fixed location, you can connect side-to-side VPN. And if you have remote users, they can use Global Protect feature. Through Global Protect, they can connect to the firewall VPN. Especially this is designed for the remote user or the mobile user who is not fixed. They can connect through the VPN. So for example, let's say if you are at branch location, you want to connect data center. So yes, you can connect through the VPN. You don't need to dial anything because you are at office. But when you are at home and you just want to access office resources, so and that time you have to use a remote VPN feature. Right. So I'm going to show you how we can create a side-to-side VPN in this Palo Alto device. We have a two firewall, this firewall and this firewall. On this firewall, I can use some interface for the VPN communication. So for example, I can use this management interface. For this management interface, I'm going to assign 10.0.0.1 IP. And for this management interface, I'm going to assign 10.0.0.2 IP. Okay. And this is the workstation. Through this workstation, I can access both firewalls. So we have interface Ethernet 0. For this interface, we have IP 10.0.0.10. And using this IP, I can access this management and I can also access this management. Okay. Now we have a two firewall, and in between two firewall, we can establish VPN communication. So what I would do for this Ethernet 1, I would say that this is a trust zone. And this Ethernet 1/2, this is on untrust zone. Okay, so same way here, this would be on trust zone and this would be on untrust zone. I'm going to assign some IP to this. So for this trust zone, I'm going to assign IP 192.168.2.1. And for this trust zone, I'm going to assign IP 172.16.0.1/24. For this untrust, I'm going to assign IP 100.0.0.1/24, and this for this untrust I'm going to assign IP 100.0.0.2/24. Now there would be a router, and this router belongs to LAN side of Palo Alto firewall 2. So on this router I'm going to assign IP 172.16.0.10/24, and its gateway would be, so this router gateway would be my firewall 172.16.0.1. And for this workstation, there is another interface is free. This interface, for this interface, I would assign IP 192.168.2.10/24, and gateway would be my firewall, this firewall. So 192.168.2.10, sorry, 2.1, that would be the gateway. So overall, my VPN connectivity would be like this, if I tell you in short. So let me just take a snapshot of this.
Yes, I have taken the screenshot, Amaria.
Great. So let me just clean this. Thank you. So let's go here. So my logical connectivity would be like this. I have a Palo Alto 1, PA01, and PA01 has two interfaces. One of the interfaces Ethernet 1/1. Just give me a minute. One of the interfaces Ethernet 1/1, and the other interface is Ethernet 1/2. Ethernet 1/2. This is connected to a switch. So this switch can consider as a public network. And there is another Palo Alto firewall. This is over here. This is PA02. And this is again connected to switch. And its interface Ethernet 1/2. 1/2 is connected to this firewall. And there is a LAN interface, which is Ethernet 1/1. This is a LAN interface. So we have a two firewall, Palo Alto 1 and Palo Alto 2. And this is connected in this way. Now, behind this firewall, you can see there would be a router which having the interface Ethernet 0/0, and this router having IP 172.16.0.10, sorry, 0.10, right, /24. And this interface of the Palo Alto firewall on Palo Alto 2 having IP 172.16.0.1. In this one, for this interface, we have IP 100.0.0.1. And for this one, we have IP 100.0.0.2. So you can say that these interfaces connecting to the public network, and we have a LAN side interface, Ethernet 0/1, which is connecting to a system which is having IP 192.168.2.10. Now our requirement is this PC, which is on LAN 1, should be able to connect to the router, which is on LAN 2. Okay, that means these two systems, if I try to ping from here, 172.16.0.10, so I should be able to ping. My traffic would go to this firewall, then firewall should create a VPN tunnel. Okay, right here. It should create a VPN tunnel in between Palo Alto and Palo Alto 2. And post creating the tunnel, my traffic would go to the firewall, and here using a tunnel, traffic would reach over here, and that firewall should decrypt this traffic and send to this router post decryption. So this side, if I try to send the traffic, this side encryption would happen. And this side decryption would happen. That's our requirement, right? So that's the logical diagram. But since this is connected to same switch, so that's a little difficult to understand. So let me just clear this, and I can show you. If I try to ping from here, let me just take a different color. So my traffic from this interface should reach to the firewall 1, this one. And after this, on the firewall, if I allow some traffic, so after this, a firewall should encrypt the traffic. So and create a VPN tunnel. So firewall should create a VPN tunnel. Let me just change the color of pin. I'm taking blue. So firewall should create a tunnel over here, and then it should go to another firewall via this way. On which interface? It should go on Ethernet 1/2. That a public network. Sorry. On this one, it should go to Ethernet 1/2. And this firewall do the decryption, and post decryption, it should send the traffic using the Ethernet 1/1 interface and back to the router. Which router? This one. So that's how overall traffic flow would happen. So between, a VPN tunnel would be created between where this blue line is showing that that's a VPN tunnel. This blue line is a VPN tunnel, right? And the red line is showing that's a communicating to local LAN. I hope you understood topology. Now I would go to configuration part. Have you understood?
Yes, Amar. Yeah.
Let me just go to configuration part. So I can show you the configuration. First of all, I need to assign the management IP so that I can access the firewall. So let's go to Palo Alto 1. And let me define the IP here. Both firewall I'm going to open, and I would assign IP because right now we don't have any IP. These are the fresh firewalls. So I would go on Palo Alto 1 and assign the IP. Using admin, I can log in. Old password is admin, and new password is a test @123. Test @123. Admin test @123. Sorry, I think password hasn't changed. Old password is admin. Enter new password test @123. Test @123. That's a new password. So I would go to configure mode, go to configure, set device config, system type, static. Why I'm assigning static IP? Because for management, static IP need to be defined. We should not rely on the dynamic one. And now I would define IP address. So set device config system IP dash address is 10.0.0.1 and net mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, let's commit the change and we can verify after this. Meanwhile, this is committing. Let's go to Palo Alto 2 and we can do the same thing. Admin, old password is admin, new password is test @123, test @123, configure, set device config, system type static, and then set device config, system IP dash address 10.0.0.2 and net mask would be 255.255.255.0. Okay, commit the changes. And let's exit from here. I can show you, show interface management. IP has been changed. You can see here 10.0.0.2. Now I can access this device using this workstation for further configuration. So let's access both firewall over here. Okay, this is first firewall. And now I would access second firewall. Let's log in. So on first firewall, I would go and configure the basic requirement. So I would configure network part first. Okay, so let's go to network. Define IP to the interface, firewall interface. This should be layer 3 type of interface, because if firewall is on any other mode, firewall interface is on another mode, they are not supporting the VPN. Only layer 3 is supporting the VPN, right? So let's assign that this is a trust zone. And IP address for this is, I'm on first firewall, so I'm assigning this IP address 192.168.2.1. Just give me a minute. Let me /24. That's the IP address. This is LAN side. And then we have to configure Ethernet 1/2. Okay. This is LAN side IP. I would assign WAN side IP as well. Let me just do this. This is WAN side IP. I would assign on the second first firewall only. This is connected to default virtual router, and zone would be untrust. And then I would assign IP. So on first firewall, on WAN side, we had decided we are going to assign 100.0.0.1/24. This IP. Okay. Okay, apart from this, I need to create a tunnel interface because I have to use that into the VPN. So I would go here and create a virtual interface, which is tunnel interface. Tunnel interface is required if you are creating a VPN. So I need to create a tunnel interface. I would give some name to this. I would say tunnel interface ID is 10. Okay. This is associated to my default virtual router, and security zone for this tunnel interface is VPN. We don't need to assign any IP, just this much. And then click on OK. Okay, so we have a physical interface we have configured tunnel interface on the first firewall. Same thing I need to do on the second firewall as well. And then I would go for VPN part configuration. So let's go to second firewall. Let's log in. And before this, I would commit on the first firewall, whatever the changes I have done. And now I would go to second firewall and do the similar configuration. So let's log in as admin. Password is test@123. And let's see, let me assign IP over here. On Ethernet +1 interface. This is a layer 3 type. And then define virtual router. This is default one. And the security zone is first. Let's click on OK. Assign IP address. This is second firewalls. For second firewall, we have decided we are going to use 172.16. 172.16.0.1/24. That's a LAN side. Let's click on OK and assign the IP address to this one as Ethernet 1/2. Are you aware about phase 1 and phase 2 policy? What is phase 1 and phase 2 policy?
No, Amar. No, sorry.
Okay, I think I had to cover this, but no problem. When we go to X plus, I would cover that in detail. But I'm just going to show you how you can create phase 2 and phase 1 and phase 2 policy after this configuration. That is important for the VPN configuration. Default security zone is untrust. And then IP address. Let's click on add IP address 100.0.0.2/24. And then I would create a tunnel interface. So let's add, and let's say this is 20 as a tunnel interface, and this is part of default virtual router, and security zone is a VPN. So basic network configuration we have done. And now I would go and configure phase 1 and phase 2 policy. Before that, I would give you some overview. Basically, when you are creating a side-to-side tunnel between two firewall, let's say this is first firewall and this is second firewall, and you want to create a side-to-side tunnel between them. So first of all, there are two tunnels get created. One tunnel is called phase 1 tunnel. That's a phase 1 tunnel. And in a phase 1 tunnel, this is used to share the key. Share key. Why key is important? Key is important for the encryption. This key is used for what? This key is used for the encryption and decryption. So for in first phase, the key gets shared. And once the key gets shared, the second tunnel would create it. And that second tunnel is called phase 2 tunnel between both. Phase 2 tunnel. So in phase 2 tunnel, actual your data would be shared. So for example, if you are sending a hello message from here to here, If you want to send hello message, if you type hello and you just want to send from here to here. So first of all, phase one tunnel would be created so that the key which you use for the encryption and decryption, that should be shared with the peer firewall. And after this, your messages get encrypted, these hello messages using the key. This message get encrypted, it would convert it into cipher. Okay. And then this message would be shared by a phase two tunnel. Okay. And it would go here on this router. So phase one tunnel, always remember that is used to share the key, and phase two tunnel is the tunnel which we would use to share the data. So basically to create this tunnel, there are some parameter required, HAGLE. Remember this keyword, haggle, this parameter is required to configure this. H stands for hashing. So if you want to configure a tunnel, we have to define hashing. A stands for authentication. So we have to define authentication as well for the VPN. G stands for the group, and group is called Diffie-Hellman group. This is known as a DH group or in shortcut, but this is a Diffie-Hellman group. L stands for lifetime. What would be lifetime of your tunnel? How long your tunnel would be valid? So this is stand for lifetime, and E stands for encryption. So these parameter we have to define on phase one and phase two. We have to define hashing, authentication, Diffie-Hellman group, lifetime, and encryption. I'm going to show you. So phase one is also known as, for phase one, this phase one is known as a IKE parameter, and phase two is known as a IPsec parameter. So we have to define IKE parameter and IPsec parameter, and in each parameter we have to define this part: hashing, authentication, Diffie-Hellman group, lifetime, and encryption. So let me show you how we can do that. So I would go on first firewall and I would start configuring VPN. So for VPN configuration, we have to use a network tab.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
sir, just I have one question that it's a demo
Yes.
classes or already session is going on there.
No, this is demo. I have taken advanced topic.
Okay, so in demo class you have to explain the VPN.
Yeah, I have taken advanced part, which is VPN. Yeah, you were not there. That's why I have taken, because Sheila was there and Sheila has a already understanding for this basic things. For example, firewall policy configuration, etc. I don't know how much you have experience on the firewall. So
Okay. Just I have another question is that have you completed the panorama on this session or not? Means that in this course.
yeah, I would cover that panorama as well. Yeah, basic part of panorama would be covered over here. Any other questions, Soeb?
No, sir.
All right. So, Soeb, do you have any experience on the firewall earlier
Yes, I have that.
in Palo Alto itself?
No, it's in checkpoint, sir.
In checkpoint you have, no problem. Okay. I would take this class from the very basic. Okay, however, this is demo, so I have chosen advanced topic in demo. That's a VPN, and you are already aware about, right? In checkpoint we have VPN, so
Yes, I
this
have.
concept you are already aware. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, no problem. So let me just go here and let me just configure the VPN on the Palo Alto firewall. So for that, I have to define phase one and phase two policy. So here for phase one, I would define IK crypto, which is haggle parameter I need to define over here. So let's go to IK crypto and add that crypto over here. Give policy name. So I'm giving the policy name IKE _ phase one. And for that, I would choose a Diffie-Hellman group. So Diffie-Hellman group, I'm choosing 5, which is G part. Authentication, for authentication, I'm using SHA-256. That is a hashing part. Encryption, I'm taking AES at define the encryption. AES 128 CBC I'm using, and lifetime I'm putting a default over here. So we have defined this Haggle parameter for phase 1, and I have to define Haggle parameter for phase 2. So let's go to phase 2. Phase 2 is known as the IPsec crypto. So let's go on phase 2 and define the Haggle parameter for phase 2 as well. So I would click on add, and I would say IPsec underscore phase 2. Click on add. I would take AES 128. Encryption. AES 128 CB. Instead of CBC, I would take different one. Just give me a minute. AES 128 CBC, I would take. Authentication, I would take SHA-256. And then Defilement group. Let's click on add. So phase 1 and phase 2 policy has been created. I need to define the peer gateway. So peer gateway is IK gateway. Here I can define peer gateway. So on Palo Alto 1, I have to define peer gateway as a Palo Alto 2. And on Palo Alto 2, I have to define peer gateway as a Palo Alto 1. So I'm on Palo Alto 2, where I have configured phase 1 and phase 2 policy. There I can define peer gateway. Let's click on add and define peer gateway. So I would say gateway underscore PA01. And it's Palo Alto 2 interface Ethernet 1/2 can reach to that gateway. There I can define peer IP address, which is 100.0.0.1. And I can define pre-shared key. Pre-shared key is a test at the rate 123. For example, I'm putting test at the rate 123. This is a peer key. In the advanced option, I can define my IK policy. My IK policy would be in automate mode, and the profile would be IK phase 1. And then I can click on OK. After this, I can go and create an IPsec tunnel. So here is the option for creation of IPsec tunnel. I can click on add, and I can define the IPsec tunnel. And in the IPsec tunnel, I can say that this is a VPN in between PA02 and PA01. There I can define that which tunnel interface would we use for the VPN communication, what would be the gateway, and what should be the phase 2 profile. Phase 2 profile is this one, IPsec. That's it. I can click on OK. After this, I can create a security policy, which would be allowing the connection from the trust to the VPN. So I can say allow underscore VPN communication. There I would define source IP and destination IP. Let me put there. Source zone is, let's say, trust, and destination zone is VPN. Application any, service any, action, it should be allowed. I would allow this bidirectional, whether the traffic is coming from trust zone to the VPN or VPN to trust zone, traffic should be allowed. After this, I would define routes for the VPN. So go to network, go to virtual router, click on this default option, and click on this static route option, and click on add. And here we can define the network. So I can say LAN VPN underscore LAN, and that network I can define over here. The destination is 192.168.2.0/24. If my firewall, which is VPN, Palo Alto 2, want to reach to this network, it can reach this network via tunnel interface, and the next hop IP would be none. So using a VPN tunnel, it can directly reach. Let's commit this. That's from Palo Alto 2 side. On Palo Alto 1, I have to assign same thing. So let's go to on Palo Alto 1 and do the similar configuration. So let's go to configure IK phase 1 profile. And we need to make sure that the phase 1 profile should be matching with the firewall 1. I mean the other side firewall. So I would say this is IK underscore phase 1. Defi element group we can choose over here. Group, what group we have taken over here? Let me show you. So group 5 we have taken, same group 5 we have to take over here. Authentication SHA-256 we have taken. And then, encryption I have to take AES 128 CBC I have taken there. So here I have to take same thing. And then phase 2 profile. I would say this is IPsec underscore phase 2. Encryption AES 128. I need to make sure that this should be matching with the other side. So let me just go and see. This is other side, and all the communication should be matching. All the configuration should be matching to this one. So this is AES 128. I would decide AES 128 CBC. After this, SHA-256 and the Defi group 2. SHA-256, Defi group 2. That's fine. I can click on OK. And then I can define IK gateway. So I'm on Palo Alto 1. My gateway would be 2 over here. So I can say this is gateway underscore PA02. And there I can define my local interface that would be used to reach there on that gateway. And the peer IP address is 100.0.0.2. And it should be authenticating using pre-shared key, and pre-shared key is a test@123. Test@123. And under advanced option, I can define my phase 1 profile. And this is the phase 1 profile I would use. And then I can go and create IPsec tunnel. Let's add. Give the tunnel name. So I would say this is VPN underscore PA01 to PA02. And then I can define tunnel interface over here. Tunnel 10 I have taken. IK gateway I can take. This is the gateway. And then cryptograph profile I can take. This is the crypto profile, like we have taken here only while creation of the tunnel. Right? Same thing I have done over here. And the tunnel interface it is using tunnel 10 interface. That's it. And now I can go and I can create a virtual router. I mean, routes I can define for 172 network. So go to static, click on add, and you can say EH02 LAN. And their LAN IP is, LAN subnet is 172.16.0.0/24. This firewall should use tunnel interface to reach there, and next hop IP is a none. And then I can click on OK. Then further I can click on OK. And now I can create a security policy that would be allowing the traffic. So click on add. Here I can say this is a VPN. Allow VPN communication, allow underscore VPN comms. Source I can define, trust zone. Destination I can define and VPN zone. Application is any, service is any, action, it should be allowed. And it should be allowed bi-directional. So that's why I'm calling like this type of rule. I can commit the changes. And I think that's it. I just need to go to Ethernet 1/1 and I need to define the gateway. So let's go to this. This is the system only where we have Ethernet 1 interface. So I would open that interface over here and I would define the firewall as a gateway. So ncpa.cpl. And I think this is the interface. I need to define firewall as a gateway. So 2.1 is my gateway. I can click on OK. Okay. And now I can generate the traffic. It should pass through the VPN. Go to command prompt and ping 172. Yeah, ping 172.16.0.1. It should go via VPN tunnel. Let's say this IP is existing. So what I would do for this PC, this node, I would defining IP. I'm not taking this router, but I would take this node. Let's turn off this router. Instead of router, I'm using this node. On this node, I'm going to assign 172.16.0.10. Sorry, I need to ping 0.10. So 0.10 is not exist so far. I am going to configure this system as a 0.10. Let me just go and configure this. IP 172.16.0.10/24. And the gateway is 172.16.0.1. Okay, so it's defined. And now go to workstation. You can see my traffic is going through, and how it is going through the VPN. Okay, so you can see over here. Let me show you. Right here, you should be able to see that traffic is going through. You can see traffic is going through, and you can open the packet and you can see over here how my traffic is going through. This is going through with via this rule, right? And this is a VPN traffic. I can show you if you go to network and show the VPN IPsec tunnel. The tunnel is up, phase 1 and phase 2 both are up. Right. So that's
Yes,
all the
Amar, yeah.
demo. Yeah, all the demo. I
Okay.
have taken advanced topic. Okay, I'm sorry for that. But if
No,
you
no.
haven't got this, okay. So, but usually in the demo, people cover basic
The
topic
basics,
that
like
I have
like
taken.
intro, what is Palo, and then I know
Yeah.
that one, but it's very useful. I know it's I'm really impressed with your demo. Thank you very much. So
Yeah.
so whom do I contact, to proceed further regarding the timings and everything?
You can contact to Joya. She would
Joya,
be your
okay.
coordinator. Yeah, Joya or Radhe. I
Okay.
don't know if you are about Radhe, but
Uh-huh.
who is your coordinator? Who is contacting to you? I think Joya, right? So you can
Joya,
contact
yeah, that's right.
Joya. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
would contact you as well. I can talk to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
problem.
know.
I will get in. Yeah.
I'm talking about other people. I don't know. This is same one.
Oh, right. Okay.
Musharraf.
Okay. They've just all joined very last minute. I don't know why they're all too late.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Amar. So I'm very much impressed. Okay. I will update you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. You
And
take
thanks
care. Yeah?
everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.